to ask. Your recommendations are to the land use deregulation. In my mind, there were two constraints. One is at the right time when we had to aggressively mechanize, we had cross currents. But that phase is over now. Nobody is objecting of mechanization in agriculture, largely because of the scarcity of labor. And because the labor now is coming from outside the state, the difficulty is not there. But two acts are in between, which is Land Reforms Act of 60s and the Paddy Wetland of 2008. I wanted to slightly think a bit more into it and how do you like to go about it? There is a strong case for diversifying the statutory plantations because a lot of other options have become available for agriculture, exotic fruits, which can really give good incomes to the farmers. And the other aspect is trying to preserve wetlands and paddy lands as it is, but not forcing it through a draconian legislation, but incentivizing paddy cultivation. Would you like to reflect on that? Because that's a central point.
There is no other state in this country with so much of laws on land. You have 150 laws on land.
The thickest volume.
Yeah, the thickest laws on land. So much. There are strict laws of land in Switzerland, in many countries in Europe, for agricultural land to be used for agricultural purpose. I still am partly for that. Not converting entire agricultural land into whatever use. These are all regulations required, but our regulations are something like a total blockade. And you give, even now you see, Paddy Taram Matam. I don't know what the hell is Taram Matam. I was the person in Revenue Secretary who amended this. I was saying there is nothing called Taram Matam. Paddy land is paddy land which is in the data bank. Rest of the land is land. And just because you Taram Matam, you pay a huge 2,000 crores or something government has collected, and maybe much more than that by the bureaucracy, defied a law called Land Utilization Order for 1967, which is an order under Essential Commodities Act. Somebody has violated land use order, he should be prosecuted for 7 years imprisonment under ECR. Instead, we say you pay some money and do Taramata. Why should you do Taramata? That land is by one stroke of pen, which is not paddy land. Any other land which remains as Nalam is changed as paddy land in one law.
Let me ask you straight away, right? Are you for repealing that act?
You made a paddy land act, and at least 5 lakhs of acres are lying vacant now. You made a law that only paddy can be done with. Where do agri-processing industries develop? With paddy you develop. 5 lakh acres are lying vacant. All the resources of agriculture are lying vacant. Even the planted rubber, something like 25-30% is lying untapped. Because wages are very high and they don't get much.
4 lakhs.
Only 30%. They all become forest. One of the reasons for man-animal conflict is the rubber plantations near the forest. The animals cannot distinguish between natural forest and rubber-based forest. They come in. These are all well-known facts, but nobody speaks about this. Why we wasted so many lakhs of acres of land because of that paddy land? Not a square inch of paddy land would be forcibly brought. The Panchayat has been given power to take over uncultivated land and get it cultivated. Collector has been given power to auction it off and all that. Show me a square inch cultivated like that. By a single act, you have made the agriculture sector. What is wrong if I understand if the paddy land, which is generally low-lying land. Definition of paddy land, you as an agriculture person, you should know. Paddy land definition in the law is where paddy can be cultivated. Other than rock, everywhere paddy can be cultivated. So every land in Kerala, where the definition is the paddy. Is the paddy only thing the Kerala eats? You basically need to eat less and less paddy. We have used a word that Ariyahar is nonsense. We are not the only people who are eating Ariyahar. Everybody in the world eats Ariyahar. And Malayali is also reducing all this. They eat more of wheat now. Why is crazy idea? If you cultivate in this midland and upperland paddy land, just bump, you get a 5 pepper factories or any other cellulose making factory. But you make rotational agriculture. One rice and one fish. I as a district collector promoted this. The political force stopped me from doing so. I defied and put the fish into 300 acres of paddy land in Kottayam. They say agriculture laborers' job will be lost. Where is agriculture laborer? Show me. I say this all with all sorts of responsibility. You are not only paddy, you need more fish now. We were people who were in charge of investment promotion. in every sector. I remember there was a German Malayali fellow from Thrissur. He's a scientist, fishery scientist, he's a big fellow. He said near Amballur there is around 300-500 acres of paddy land after the clay extraction, lying paddy and lying as pots. So he just followed. He wanted to do pisciculture there. He said, I can run a big company here producing, thousands of tons of fish. The agriculture officer and collector deputy said, no, see in the Rekha. Revenue Rekha, this Nelam in the Rekha paddy massage. 100 feet of water, 60 feet of water, they want to do paddy. I tried my level best, the collector, nobody says the law is like this. How much fish he could have produced? A Malayali, German investor. I couldn't help it. '72 of the Land Reform Acts simply bans leasing, agriculture leasing. Any agreement signed is ab initio invalid is the word. So whatever lease is happening,
future tenancy is also prohibited.
Yeah.
Future
is prohibited, and even anything is signed is ab initio invalid. That's the word used in Section 72. So one of our strongest recommendations is take away that 72. Allow leasing, agriculture leasing. Now those days, people used to hoard a lot of land, lease it out and make, extract money, sort of all that thing was called Jenmis and Kudiyans.
Now Jenmi has become Pravasi.
Yeah. Now the law also says the ceiling is not owning, holding. The word is not owning, it is holding. So you can't even leasehold, you cannot have more than 15. Holding a market, not owning. So allow leasing of land. Otherwise, you people have no future. You can start an agriculture enterprise. If you have 30 acres of land, you can introduce machinery, anything, 30, 40, or if there are few such people, you can have a common leasing facility of agri-machineries. These days, not the physical machinery, drones, all technologies, everything, right?
To continue that. So what happened is when government legally abolished leasing of land, even if your neighbor has land and suppose he's working in Dubai or Gulf or anything and the land is remaining unutilized, you cannot take it on lease and cultivate. That means more and more people could not afford to live on agriculture because the land holding has come down from 15 acres to 6 acres to 2 acres, less than that. So they went out of job, maybe even within Kerala, or maybe abroad, or maybe within India, but they just couldn't full-time cultivate. So the land remaining fallow kept on increasing and increasing and increasing. So today the situation is, there are pieces of small land parcels all over Kerala. None of them are viable, economically viable to cultivate, but legally you cannot consolidate and make large farms. Number 3, the third problem, take the plantation. The plantation, at one point of time, we should understand the plantation are basically economic unit. From an economic unit, sometimes the government thought what is more important in the plantation is the protecting the land. Okay, so if you read through the Plantation Act, what you will basically understand is the basic thought process of all the Plantation Act is that protecting the labor within the plantation. Nobody really thought about reinvesting in plantation, growing plantation, making money out of plantation, and then creating further enterprises, further savings, further riches from plantation. That never came because it's a bourgeois activity. You can't think about it. Your only role is to protect the labor. Now, as a result, what is happening is tea prices started falling, coffee prices started falling, rubber we kept on artificially high because we had very good political clout in Delhi, and using that political clout, we kept it, we prevented import of rubber from abroad and kept it artificially high. But when WTO came and when the liberalization came, that couldn't be held for long. So the rubber imported started coming, so that is also falling. Now the solution point. What should you do with that? So the problem now is, if you want to make money out of plantation, treat that land like any other land. There should not be any category of land called plantation land. And then what about the law? You'll say, yes, there are common laws. You have Town and Country Planning Act, you have the City Planning Act, where as per the General Act, you say, look, this place you cannot build 10-story building or you cannot build houses. Those are applicable all over Kerala. Make them alone applicable here, don't have the second. Which means maybe a 10,000 plantation tomorrow will become a huge university or a gold floors, or maybe they will cut out the entire rubber and plant there. Something today, in a rubber plantation, you cannot plant avocado or durian or the rambutan or other plants, better yielding or better earning crops. You can't do that. You should always see agriculture and plantation together. Please understand that. If you separate, you are finished. Don't see yourself as agriculturist. Plantation is not my area. No, it is one. It's only one. Only then your canvases exist. So the problem now is all the problems have been created by the government by over-regulation. What is the solution? Remove the regulation. So my solution would be, I would say, remove the ceiling on land holding. That 15 acres ceiling should go, and it should go immediately. Let anybody hold 100 acres, 200 acres or whatever. 2, allow new leases to be created on land from today. Whatever happened yesterday, forget about that. From today onwards, anybody should be allowed to lease out, lease in, make larger viable farms and invest in that. You can bring in technology, you can bring in artificial intelligence, you can bring in robotics, you can bring better uses, investment, and that can come only because of investment. And investment you cannot do in 28 cents of land. If you want to invest some money and take it out of that, you need larger agriculture land. Therefore, remove the land. And 3 most important, plantation. Remove the category called plantation. Leave that freedom to the owner of the land to do whatever he wants to do there, whether he wants to build a house or he wants to build 1,000 houses or a college or he wants to plant rambutan or durian, let him do that and treat them like any other land within the state, subject only to the Town and Country Planning Act and also the City Planning Act as the case.